you're just like one of the top performers from a programming perspective that are still like openly talking about it. But everyone's using PHP. Like if you look at most of the web is still probably
I
PHP and
think
jQuery.
70%. It's because of WordPress, right? Because the blogs are.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm seeing a revival now. People are getting sick of frameworks. Like all the JavaScript frameworks are so like, what do you call it? Like wieldy. Like it takes so much work to just maintain this code. And then it updates to a new version. You need to change everything. PHP just stays the same and works.
Yeah.
And
can you actually just speak to that stack? You build all your websites, apps, startups, projects, all of that with mostly vanilla HTML.
yeah,
JavaScript with jQuery, PHP, and SQLite. So that's a really simple stack, and you get stuff done really fast with that. Can you just speak to the philosophy behind that?
I think it's accidental because that's the thing I knew. Like I knew PHP, I knew HTML, CSS, because you make websites. And when my startup started taking off, I didn't have time to. I remember putting on my to-do list like learn Node.js because it's important to switch, because this obviously is much better language than PHP. And I never learned it. I never did it because I didn't have time. I these things were growing like this, and I was launching more projects, and I never had time. It's like one day, I'll start coding properly, and I never got to it.
I sometimes wonder if I need to learn that stuff. It's still to do item for me to really learn Node.js or Flask or these kind of
React, Vue,
React, and it feels like a responsible software engineer should know how to use these, but you can get stuff done so fast with vanilla versions of stuff.
Yeah, it's like software developers. If you want to get a job, and there's like, people making stuff like startups, and if you want to be entrepreneur, probably maybe you shouldn't. Right?
I wonder if there's like, I really want to measure performance and speed. I think there's a deep wisdom in that.
Yeah,
I do think that frameworks and just constantly wanting to learn the new thing, this complicated way of software engineering gets in the way. I'm not sure what to say about that because definitely, like, you shouldn't build everything from just vanilla JavaScript or vanilla C, for example.
Yeah.
C++, when you're building systems engineering, is like, there's a lot of benefits for a pointer safety and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know, but it just feels like you can get so much more stuff done if you don't care about how you do it.
Man, this is my most controversial take, I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like there's frameworks now that raise money. They raise a lot of money, like they raise $50 million, $100 million, $300 million. And the idea is that you need to make the developers, the new developers, like when you're 18 or 20 years old, right? Get them to use this framework and then add a platform to it, like where the framework it's open source, but you probably should use the platform, which is paid, to use it. And the cost of the platforms to host it are 1,000 times higher than just hosting it on a simple AWS server or a VPS on DigitalOcean, right? So there's obviously like a monetary incentive here. Like we want to get a lot of developers to use this technology, and then we need to charge them money because they're going to use it in startups, and then the startups can pay for the bills. But it kind of destroys the information out there about learning to code because they pay YouTubers, they pay influencers, developer influencers is a big thing to like. And same thing what happens with like nutrition and fitness or something. Same thing happens in developing. They pay these influencers to promote the stuff, use it, make stuff with it, make demo products with it. And then a lot of people are like, wow, use this. And I started noticing this because when I would ship my stuff, people would ask me, what are you using? I would say, just PHP, jQuery, why does it matter? And people would start kind of attacking me, like, why are you not using this new technology, this new framework, this new thing? And I say, I don't know, because this PHP thing works, and I'm optimizing for anything, it just works. And I never understood like why, like I understand there's new technologies that are better and there should be improvement, but I'm very suspicious of money, just like lobbying. There's money in this developer framework scene. There's hundreds of millions that goes to ads or influencers or whatever. It can't all go to developers. You don't need so many developers for a framework, and it's open source to make a lot of more money on these startups.
So that's a really good perspective. But in addition to that is like when you say better, it's like, can we get some data on the better? Because like, I want to know from the individual developer perspective, and then from a team of 5, team of 10, team of 20 developers.
Yeah.
Measure how productive they are in shipping features, how many bugs they create, how many security holes.
PHP was not good with security for a while, but now it's good.
In theory, is it though?
Now it's good.
Now as you're saying it, I want to know if that's true, because PHP was just the majority of websites on the internet.
Could be true.
Is it just overrepresented? Same with WordPress.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a reputation that WordPress has a gigantic number of security holes. I don't know if that's true. I know it gets attacked a lot because it's so popular. It definitely does have security holes, but maybe a lot of other systems have security holes as well. Anyway, I just sort of questioning the conventional wisdom that keeps wanting to push software engineers towards frameworks, towards complex, like super complicated sort of software engineering approaches that stretch out the time it takes to actually build a thing.
100%. And it's the same thing with big corporations. Like 80% of the people don't do anything. It's like, it's not efficient. And if your benchmark is like people building stuff that actually gets done, and like for society, right? Like if we want to save time, we should probably use technology that's simple, that's pragmatic, that's like that works, that's not overly complicated, doesn't make your life like a living hell, you know.
And use a framework when it obviously solves a problem, a direct problem that you do.
Of course, of course. I'm not saying you should code without a framework. You should use whatever you want, but yeah, I think it's suspicious, you know. And and I think it's suspicious when I talk about it on Twitter. Like there's this army comes out, you know. Yeah. There's these framework armies.
Yeah,
something my gut tells me.
You know. I want to ask the framework army, what have they built this week? It's the Elon question. What did you do this week?
Yeah, and did you make money with it? You know, did you charge users? Is it a real business? And